Hey there, in this video I will be talking about how we can use Laravel to create a seeder so we can get some data into our database when we create it using the migrate function on the PHP artisan command. So we've built this basic web app here, and if we take a look at the application itself, we can see it's just basically the Laravel 8 CRUD example, and we don't have any products in there right now. But if we would like to test this and create a fresh install and everything, maybe we would like to have some test data that is put into the database when we create it. And recall we had the command, the PHP artisan command, migrate, and then that will migrate the database. And we can see that we already did this. If we want to refresh, just basically drop all the database tables and create them again, we can do refresh. So we attach this to the command and it will roll back and migrate everything again, so we get a fresh database. This also means that any data that we have created, we start the project here and just say product 1 and then details. Whoop. If we submit that, then we have one product here. And if we go and for some reason change the database or decide that we want to have a fresh database, we would like to do this command here with migrate refresh, and that is all good except that it clears all data in the database. So then we have to create everything again. So how can we make this automatic data be a part of this migration here? And Laravel has a built-in feature called database seeding that will allow us to create a seeder, and also this seeder can be instructed to create any number of the objects that we have defined in our app. So we can see here that we have users and also the products in our app right now. And the user is a built-in model that will be created when you use the authentication in Laravel. And we have already created also a product simple model that is residing in the database in our, if we take a look at PHP my admin here, then we can see that going to Laravel CRUD, we have products and basically have the ID and the name, detail, and created it. So how can we automatically populate this with test data? The first thing, as it says in the documentation for database seeding in version 8, we can see that if we scroll down a bit, there is a command, artisan command, that will create a seeder. So if we write, just clear this terminal here, so we write PHP artisan and then we do make seeder and then provide a name for that. It's going to be the seeder for the product, so let's just call this product seeder. Then it will create a new seeder object for us. We can see it's right here. It has not been versioned yet, so we can see it basically is a class that extends the seeder, and then it has the run function. If we take a look at another file in here, the database seeder is where that is the file that will run when we seed the data, and we don't have anything in here right now. There is actually a line of code that will create a couple of users using a factory. And that is another way to generate data. If we want to generate fake data, any number of users, we can use this line of code here, and it will create 10. We can make a small demo here. We can see that it will create 10 instances of user, the user object. And right now in the database, we don't have, let's just check here. We don't have any data with the users. So if we run this command, we can see here we have a command called refresh again, and if we attach seed, we can refresh the database, do all the migrations, and we can seed the data using this database seeder, and then we will run this code here. So then we can see it will seed the data, database seeding completed successfully, and if we refresh that database, we have a whole bunch of random fake data that actually have real email addresses, or they match the email address pattern, password, and everything. So we have users we can use to test on, and we can populate the database. So how do we get this feature? How do we make this ourselves for the products? So first, let's just take this line of code away again, and let's just refresh the database. So we have an empty database here. So we created this product seeder, and now we have the run function, and what we need to do here is basically decide how should we create products in here. So we can do product, and then we can do new, and then we have to find our models. They are in the models, and we can already see that it suggests either the product or the user. So we're going to take product, and then it will give us the option to provide the values that we need to have in a product. And recall that a product was, we had this fillable array defined in the product, and that was just a simple one with a name and detail. And you can have any number of properties on your model, but let's just put the name. That should have the value of product number 1. Whoop. And let's just check the details. Product number 1, details. Right. So that's one definition of a product. We basically take the product, and then we create a new one using the constructor and pass along the values for this product. Then afterwards we can use our model, our product instance here, to call save on that. And that is Eloquent. We are using the ORM that we're using to create this particular product in the database. So that is just one of them. Let's just try to see if this actually works. One thing we need to do before we run the seeding command is that we need to tell the database seeder that it should actually call this new seeder, because we don't have any code in here right now. So, and the way we do this is we call this, and then we can call the seeder that we have been working on, the product seeder, and class on this. Then the seeder here will call the product seeder and run the function here. Basically run the code in here and create one product. So if we run the command again with the seed option, we can see that we're rolling back and get an error here. We get an error here. We can see that column not found, unknown column details. That is probably a typo. If we go to product model, we can see detail in singular. Okay, so that is a mistake here. Just fix it here with the detail, and then try to rerun the command. So we get actually a nice output from Laravel about what is wrong with our SQL query. And we can see the query right here. Details. We don't have this column in our database. It's just called detail. So let's rerun the command and hope for the best. Let's see what happens now. Database seeding completed successfully. If we head over to the phpMyAdmin, we can see we have one product. So that is nice. So now we can roll back the whole database and migrate everything, and also put in test data in one command. So that's pretty powerful, I think. And then we can also copy, we can simply copy this over, and we can modify the data if we want that. Product 3, whatever name we want to have. Oh, so that is 4. Yeah, and you can continue creating as many instances of this product you want to like. And if we rerun the command, we can see we should have 4 products in our database. That is nice. So if we head over to the front end, take a look, we can see we actually have data. So if I modify anything, if I modify product 4, a new description on that, save that. That is going to be updated, and then Obviously, we're not going to get the updated data, but we have test data in one shot, in one command. Okay, so that is about seeding in Laravel, that it's really powerful, that you can generate your database, migrate it, and seed the data in one command. And in the next video, I will show you how you can use the built-in factories, because we also have something called factories, where you can see there is a user factory that will allow us to make a definition of how we can create a user with fake info, fake names. And that is what is going on in we can't see this now, but in the users table we had before. We had a lot of realistic users, but they were generated using this definition. So we're going to talk about this in the next video. All right, I hope you can make this work and have fun with this. Bye-bye.